everyone, Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com, here with another video tutorial for you in my series called Flashcards 2.0. Today's card is just bright and cheery and Eastery and springy, and I can't wait to share with you how I did this beautiful sponging technique. So let's get started with today's card. As always, I'm going to begin with my Flashcard 2.0 pieces. I'll be using Bashful Blue and Very Vanilla. Now, if you've not seen the first video that explains the template and how this works, no problem. Just go over to YouTube and search Connie Stewart Flashcards 2.0, and I'll share with you how to create this great template and always be able to make cards in a flash. My card base today is also Very Vanilla. I've cut that at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, so just a standard card base. All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're actually going to start with our card base to get going on our card here. I'm going to bring in my scallop trim border punch. And I'm going to have you come all along one edge here and trim it out. It's going to look like that when it's done. So you can see I've just punched that out. And now let me share with you how we're going to do this great sponging technique. I've got some scrap cardstock here. Actually, this is really just junky stuff. And I'm going to be using a two-way glue pen. Now, if you're not familiar with the two-way glue pen, it's two-way for a reason. It can, I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. It can go on wet, and then it's going to adhere your stuff to the project, or you can let it dry just slightly and it's going to become tacky, almost like a post-it note. So I'm going to kind of let this one dry, and then I can go ahead and show you how we're going to do this sponging technique. Now, I love to use my grid paper for a project like this because I can make sure I'm going to line that up just right. I'm a little anal when it comes to things being really straight. So I'm just going to lightly put that on there. I'm going to come in now with some pretty and pink ink and a sponge. And we're just going to sponge. Oh, I know I'm shaking the camera. You guys are probably going, ah, earthquake. Okay, so we're just going to sponge this ink on here. And just to keep from it shaking the camera too bad, I probably won't go as hard as I normally would, but you can see we're just going to really get that ink sponged on there, down all the little cracks and crevices, so you can see we get that on the inside. Pretty, huh? And as you can see, that peels right off just beautifully. Now I can take it, I'm going to flip this around, and we're going to do this exact same technique on the other side. And I'm going to line up that edge. And now I'm going to come in with some Certainly Celery ink. And we'll just rub that onto the top of our card base. Just like so. Very, very easy. Okay. And peel. You can see where we're going. Okay, it's looking great, isn't it? Okay, now let's come in with our flashcard pieces, and we're going to do a little bit of work. I'm going to set my card base aside. The first thing let's work on is that Bashful Blue. I'm going to come in with this piece as well, and we're going to just punch that same scallop trim border. Throw that on the floor so the dog can, you know, get into it and track it through the house. Okay, so there's my little border. Now I'm going to use the 7/8 inch scallop circle. And what I'm going to have you do is, if you'll push that punch in just as far as it'll go, make sure you've got a little edge here, and we're going to punch 1, and then you notice I'm going to bring it up and over, 2, in as far as it'll go, 3, 4, 5, and if I hold my tongue just right, 6. So I'm going to get 6 little circles, little scallopy circles out of that. Now with this piece here, I am going to have you come in and do a little bit of sponging. I've just come in with the crumb cake and a sponge and just sponge the edges of that. Now let's go ahead, we're going to go ahead and adhere that onto our card and just snail in the spots where you can. We're going to adhere that right up here towards the top, leaving a little bit of border there. We like that. Okay. And now we're going to come in with our Very Vanilla piece, and I am going to have you do a little something to it. I need you to trim it down to 1 3/4 inches. So we need to get a little hair cut off of there. We're going to be stamping on it, and I'm going to be using the Everything Eleanor stamp set. So let me go ahead and get one more stamped swirly on there. And you can also kind of see that I've also sponged the edges of that in the crumb cake as well. Let's go ahead and get that adhered onto our card because I can't stand to look at that for very long. So we'll get that covered up. Beautiful. All right, you can kind of see where we're going now. Now let me show you how we're going to create these fabulous flowers. So I'm going to come in with one of the scallops, and I'm going to share with you my little trick for cutting these into flowers. I'm going to cut kind of long cuts in between every other petal. Basically, I'm going to have little hearts. I don't know if you can kind of see that there. We've just got little hearts, basically, that are being cut out. And once we have that done, you can come back in between with little shortcuts. The issue that we run into is we don't want to cut off petals. And because it is so small, it can be done. So we want to just kind of keep those inner cuts really small. So it's going to look like that. Okay, very easy, right? We're going to take that same crumb cake. We're going to sponge the edges. You're going to repeat this with all 6 of your flowers. And let me come in and show you how we're going to adhere those. I've just got them on here with some mini glue dots, and I'm just going to attach them randomly. And you're going to put 6 on the front of your card. And I've got this last one here that'll go on the inside, but let me very quickly go ahead and stamp my sentiment. This is from Sweet Essentials. And I'm going to stamp in crumb cake. So kind of you. Now let me show you how the inside's going to work. You can see I did go ahead and pre-stamp for you. I put my so kind of you, and I've got my swirls on there. There's my last flower. Now I'm going to show you how to do this great technique with the rhinestone little gems here. Very simple Sharpie marker. I mean, come on, doesn't everyone have like a drawer full of these? And you're just going to, voila, you're just going to color on it. It's so easy. We can then come in, pick up that fabulous jewel, stick it to the inside of our card. So the inside of our card has a little bling bling. And there you have it. Is that not a great and simple flashcard? I absolutely love this technique. Thought it just came out beautiful. I hope you enjoy it too. Now remember, you can see all the supplies that I used on today's card by simply going to simplysimplestamping.com. And if you like the idea of flashcards but don't like the idea of cutting, no problem. At my website, you can also order flashcard kits to go. Everything you need to create 40 flashcards, and the original and the 2.0, 40 cards and envelopes ready to go, $39.95. It is really an awesome deal, and that way you'll always have cards ready to go in a flash. So thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out simplysimplestamping.com, and be sure to stay tuned for more videos in my series called Flashcards. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.